Let's go. Mic check. 1, 2. Good evening. Trying to be back for another one here. Make sure that we're good here on the mic. We'll go from there. Much love. Good evening, though. Thank you, Let It Burn, Academy, Bones, Wayne, John Boy, Deanne, E. Fitz, Warlock, Pixie, everybody, Sheepdog. Good to see everybody. Canito, Meat Puppet, Hoodie Ross, MC, much love. It looks like, thank you, Kevin. It looks like Restream did me in there on that launch. I thought everything was set up really good. When I went to set it up, you got the channels you can connect to, and I always have one marked, and it's obviously YouTube here where I'm live. I set it all up. I went over to the YouTube page to start punching in some stuff over there, and I noticed that the underground image was up, and that was kind of odd. I'm like, it don't normally have that image thrown up. So I'm like, what's going on here? Well, I said the heck with it and just ran with it. But by the time we went live, it wasn't kicking out. Whatever it was on Restream, I had to completely reset it. That worked. here we are. Sometimes crap like that happens, but we're live, man. Sapphire, grateful to catch me live. I'm glad you're here. Awesome. Get this thing going. Got lots to cover and talk about, as always. We got some things developing still, and quite a few different things that went down here over the weekend to cover. If you want to get my attention, at me there in the chat at Dabu77. Everyone said 5x5. Pixie might want to give it a refresh. Dabu7 at yahoo.com is the email if you need to get a hold of me. And I appreciate any support, coffees, PayPals, super chats, all that's all appreciated to the fullest. Much love there, Geo. Silver Sailor, sliding in Japan in the house. All right, and thank you, Academy, for that feedback. Third Eye Atlas, John Boy. Yeah, got some updates there. And thank you, Brian. Much love to my knights, Brian Raymond. And yes, it's cold. All right, so gonna get this thing rocking. Yeah, snowing all over the place. Thank you, Deanne. And much love to all the pure bloods out there. Yeah, it's cold. It is cold. A taste of winter has set in. What is it here, man? 20s. First time this year. Hopefully we rebound pretty good this week, back up into the normal temperature range. I know a lot of you are right there with me. At least if you're in the Midwest to the East Coast, you're feeling it. I know some cats that are west of the middle of the country. They're not feeling it. They're not seeing it. I know Colorado, Tacos was telling me, was already going to rebound. So they didn't even get affected by this like we did. Although the first frost is definitely in. Thank you, Steely, for the super chat. Appreciate it to the fullest. Yeah, if you got any crops, man, it's harvest time. And the season, the summer just came and went just like that, huh? Like lightning, time's flying by. We're going to be into 2026 before you know it. And yeah, off to the races. Jay from the Ville in the house. Yeah, gee, so you there's parts. I seen a clip Spiro sent me here just a little bit ago. Somebody said that there was parts of Florida that were colder tonight than somewhere in Colorado by like a few degrees. It just shows there's a massive shift right there. Looked like it was spun up when you go back and you look at the feed on the weather thing. It looks like a ball that's just spun up and like rolled right on down in. But yeah, I seen a little bit of snow here today, here this evening. It wasn't a whole lot. Ground's still pretty warm. And it melted most of it. It stuck to the grass, but not the roads, which was good. So hopefully it's out of here and we don't see another one. I don't care for the snow at this point. Yeah, give you the white Christmas and all that. The rest of it, man, I'm just over. It was cool when I was a kid, man. I mean, you was out playing in it, and you could have fun in it and all them days, man. But like, this is my rear view. I spent most of my summer chopping firewood. While everyone else is going to the beach and having fun, doing all this stuff, I lived off-grid life and I get prepared. I'm trying to stay prepared 24/7. So this year I went hard. I don't care if it's better to have too much in abundance of like firewood than not enough. Because like last year I had not enough. And that's a crappy situation, especially when you get frozen on a mountain for several weeks. But I had to do what I had to do. Anyhow, better off this year, thank God. At least I'm not sitting here in 5 layers closed and can see my breath when I'm streaming. Although I never said a word about it, you would have never known because I don't bitch and cry like a little baby out there about most of it. But I'm just letting you know. Things are better than they were last year. All right, so we've got multiple CMEs incoming, starting off with space here. And tomorrow, rather at midnight, we enter the 1111 window. And I know that you guys that follow the live streams get it. You hear me talk about some of these things just like this, and you're hip to it. But like, if I don't kick out a video on it, the people that don't come to the live streams, like, they're not even going to be hip to what's going on. What we got going on, again, if you don't know, is that we've got 4 bodies in the heavens that are going to go into retrograde starting tomorrow. We're at midnight here in just a few hours. Oh, Geo's rubbing it in. 68 degrees there in San Diego. All right, so these CMEs are coming in, one November 10th, another on the 11th. The 1-2 punch is going to spark again something between G1 and G3 class storms. If you get up to G3, that's when you can start messing with power grids, having fluctuations, things flickering, radio transmissions are messed up. This big sunspot 4274, same one I pointed out last time, it erupted again this morning in X12, and these are Earth directed. So this adds another CME to the train of storm clouds that's coming this way. And it takes time. And see, for all the people that say that the sun and the moon are within the bubble of Earth, under the firmament, flying around, well, just tell me then how these models are fake and how it takes all this time to get to us then. And how the solar winds and everything outside of, I don't know. There's always a lack of explaining all this stuff that you see in some of these videos out here that make these wild accusations about stuff. I'm all ears, but like, come on, come with some hard data and some proof, some substance. And then we'll start talking about it. But, you know, you've got normally what I call a cannibal CME. This is where you've got CMEs that come in, and potentially this back one can catch up with the ones in front of it, and it kind of eats it. That's what they call a cannibal CME, but it doesn't really eat it. What they do is they combine into one massive storm. That right there is what you got to watch out for, because that right there could send the grid down. It can happen. So just a heads up, we're in a window like that. The sun very active at the top of the solar cycle here. I expect to see more of it. Okay. Let's jump to Comet Atlas. All right, and much love, Joe. Boy, oh boy. Okay, like this thing, in terms of doing craziness and like just weird, wild stuff, it is not disappointed. It's constantly churning up something new that is crazy. The ether is real, for sure. The Jinn are sitting in it. There's all types of intelligence within it. Yeah, the ether's real. So this object that's coming through, at this point, I refuse to call it a comet. They want to call it a comet, but to me, even if it's rock and ice, which we know it's not that, we know the composition, it's a different kind of comet completely. And yeah, you can say it's an interstellar comet, but like Borisov was more of a comet with a tail and all this. So as this thing came through, one of the big things was it didn't have a tail. And then they were like, oh, it does have a tail. Everyone's looking. Everyone's like, where? Like, it's an anti-tail. It's a stubby one. And they looked and like, yeah, it looks like you're right. Like, that's, again, not normal for a normal comet. See, what you're seeing with the comet most of the time, as it's coming in and getting ready to go through perihelion, which is around the sun and its closest point to the sun, is you see as it gets closer to the sun, and this is indicative of every single one that comes through, this is how they work on a normal basis, right? It could be made of different things, but most of the time there's large amounts of water and ice that are mixed in with this, okay? With most comets. And they can be made of different metals. And there's all kinds of different compositions out there which they've discovered, they've logged. That's what makes Atlas different, because it carries a different composition than what they've ever seen. That's another anomaly. I mean, we can go on and on and on and on about the anomalies here, but in terms of it coming in and outgassing, when it's off-gassing or outgassing, it's releasing all of this sublimated ice off into the atmosphere around it, part of the coma, but it creates a tail that falls behind it. The solar wind hits it and all this other stuff, and it pulls it back behind it, okay? Then when it gets closer to the sun, it forms an ionized tail. You can have basically a double tail as it's working its way around the sun. Okay, we've seen this time and time again. Okay, but you see this all on the approach up to the sun and the rounding of the sun, because that's the closest approach. That's when it's closest to the heat and all that. That's when all these things happen. That's also when comets disintegrate and fall apart. Okay, enter Atlas. We're at a point where it's come out on the other side of the sun, and it's there, but all of a sudden it seems to have jets coming off of it. I put a video out on this. The jets are kind of crazy because they go around it kind of evenly. And yes, they do kind of fit a structure when you look at those jets of thrusters around an object. So evenly spaced all the way around it. It's pretty wild. That's true. But now, the huge plume that you see on the screen shouldn't be there. Or this object shouldn't be there. And I'll explain it like this. Avi Loeb, which has got a lot of flack for saying this thing could potentially be a mothership and all this other stuff, all he did was say it was a possibility in the beginning. And of course, they want to be like, oh, conspiracy theory. Well, it's not conspiracy theory. There is a possibility. And the fact that you want to act like a retard over there over the whole thing, it pisses me off. There's a chance that anything could come in, anything could be happening here. To call everything a conspiracy theory because it may not be a rock with ice, is just ridiculous to me. We already seen Oumuamua go through, and it was, I believe, intelligent. All the data, all the indications show that it was. This has shown the same thing thus far, unless it just broke apart, right? So here we go. What we're looking at, and I'm just going to read from what Avi Loeb writes here, because you can get the scientific breakdown. I'm not going to read every bit of it. I'm just going to hit the key points here. But he starts off saying that he's going to approach this by trying to explain this away in terms of being a normal or a natural comet. Okay? It's a start there. And they're going to work out all the properties based on its latest post-perihelion data, including the images. So, they say the large-scale image of 3I from November 9th, which is what we're looking at above, shows multiple jets reaching out to 1 million kilometers toward the sun, and then 3 million kilometers in the opposite direction. For a natural comet, the outflow velocity of jets is expected to be 0.4 kilometers per second, of order the sound speed of gas at the distance of Atlas from the sun. At that speed, the jets must have persisted over a time scale of at least 1 to 3 months. Okay? So this is the huge red flag right out the gate. For all of this to have been out in the open, this should have been going on for the past 1 to 3 months. It should have been going on all the way through perihelion, and it was not. So why now? So he says for a natural comet, the outflow velocity of these jets should have been kicking out the whole time it was approaching the sun. Just kind of what I've been telling you, this how comets work, as we witnessed every time. As they're coming closer, they get brighter. That's not the case with this thing. So he gives a bunch of other calculations here, but he says that they calculated that the total mass of Atlas is at least 33 billion tons. Now, are you kidding me? Of all numbers in the world, 33, huh? So he, by his math, his findings, this whole huge plume that comes out, basically, and he goes through a whole thing here, talking about all the, I don't want to bore you with all the scientific jargon. You can go right over to his thing, medium.com, and you can read all the stories and updates. And you could just go back and pause it on the screen and read it. But this is where we run into an issue. They told us that this thing was giving off a bunch of cyanide. It had a high nickel content, like a massive amount, very little iron and very little water and ice, like 4 to 5%. This thing is just kicked out so much that you can just get over the water ice theory, because that's 4 to 5%. This thing's lost at least, by the smallest accounts, some 16%. All the way up to what he's saying in this, it could have just exploded. It could have just disintegrated. Like something huge just happened with this thing. Okay? Now, what leaves a lot of people right now scratching their head is what I'm about to say right now. And thank you, Comrade Kent. As you can see here, he says, Houston, we got a problem. With the natural comet hypothesis, the required surface area of Atlas to provide for the mass that we see being kicked out behind it right now would mean it would have to be at least 16 times larger than what we're being shown. It's that much. And he's like, it either blew to pieces, and it still doesn't make any sense how you get 16 times more material than what it was even set to be. Okay? Check this out. As the angry astronaut pointed out in his piece today, what we find is an intact, tightly compact central core still flying. How is it even freaking possible? This is why he's saying, Houston, we've got a problem. You wanted me to approach this from a natural comet perspective this entire time? Well, here you go. Now answer these questions. And they can't. You're talking about a government right now that's shut down, and they haven't said anything. They've been quiet as a church mouse over there, not saying nothing. NASA and everyone else, a little image been kicked out here and there from different agencies around the world. But man, they should be sitting on a trove of high definition that'll blow your mind type images. This thing skimmed Mars, for crying out loud. If you were standing on Mars and you witnessed this event, it would have been spectacular. So whatever they really got there, um, it should be phenomenal. Now, of course, they've got all the time in the world to doctor it and to do whatever. Right now, as the government shut down. But look, man, I've stuck to the hard data in the images that we've got. Primarily, uh, we've dove into anything they've thrown out there official, and we've stuck to all the backyard telescope images from around the world. And like I said, Angry Astronaut doing a great job. Dobsonian Power, Tiago over there, he's got his own telescope. The whole nine. They're going to be getting better images as the days go on. Something's got to give. Either this blew apart, which would have been late. It should have done it right at the height of perihelion, but they said it's still possible here. And there should be nothing there, or there's something there. And if there's still something there after all this, as the Angry Astronaut was saying, like, dude, like, what is going on? Psh, bro, you got me. Like, all I'm doing is just reporting on what we're seeing in the hard data. Like, there's no explanation now for where all this debris came from, and there's still an object there called 3i Atlas. There's something so messed up about this thing. Never seen anything like it. I mean, this is just every time I think I'm at a loss for words, the next time we get more data, and it's still moving out of here. It's heading toward Jupiter, staying on this path. But what he finishes up and says down here is the only other bit of data that makes sense here is that when you're talking about all that material that's been kicked out, trying to skip over. All right, right here. He goes on to say everything that it would require for this to have been natural, all the details you can read on over here. I'm not going to bore you with them again, but I just wanted to, if it's not natural, he says this is his end game hypothesis as we're waiting for more data to come in. Technological thrusters. Again, this leads toward a huge mothership and all that. He says that they require a much smaller mass loss in order to produce the observed jets that are around 3i Atlas. He goes on again to start giving all these numbers, but he says that it's more like to see plumes like this and the thing is still there, that's where this leans toward. Imagine that. And all the math shows it. All the math and the imagery is showing it. And we've shown this step by step. I've refrained from trying to call this thing any type of a mothership the entire time. Okay? But we've stuck with the cold hard facts. That it could be intelligently controlled. It could be a space rocket that's been hijacked. I mean, our own people talk about trying to do that crap. It could be anything. It could be anything. And I'm just saying that in the end, today, where it sits right now, is this thing, as they said, either exploded, started to fall apart, which doesn't make any sense because there's something still there, or it's like thrusters, which makes sense. He goes on to say this is the exact spot. If you're coming around the sun, this is where you would kick them on at, right here. Especially if you're trying to pull off maintaining the same course of a natural comet. As he said before, this thing's almost like masquerading through the solar system, acting like it's a comet when it's not. Why did it even come down around the sun if the sun didn't have a gravitational effect on it? Huh? That's a huge one. It's like it faked it. It's like it faked it. Didn't have a tail coming in all day, none of it. It faked it. It's got this huge central light that they've yet to be able to explain that's still there. Like, dude, this thing's wild, man. There's ever been anything we've talked about outside of Oumuamua, because Oumuamua is really the first one. But it caught all the attention when it was out of here, as it was leaving out of here. This one's starting to do the same. This one's starting to make its way out of here. It's going to get further and further away from us from here on out, but it will be pulled out from behind the sun. So every day, clear images should pop up, as long as a full moon isn't drowning out the images. But look, that's the hard data for what it's worth. This extremely odd thing was definitely doing one thing for sure. It was shedding huge amounts, tons of cyanide into subspace or into space, which is a huge building block for life. So it could have been seeding life all throughout this solar system. Who knows? Could have been doing a million different things at this point. But yeah, those are the crazy, wild updates. And remember, we've got incoming CMEs here for the next day or so. From X flares, Earth directed. You don't normally have that. Okay, so again, auroras could be a big thing. If you got clear skies, northern latitudes. And again, you can check out Avi Loeb. Let me just go see if you've got any other fresh updates. Oh, he's got a piece on there about, do you believe in extraterrestrial intelligent life beyond Earth? But we're not going to dive into that right now. Got too much here to cover. All aboard for Heaven's Gate. Man, don't it feel like that, Glenn? I've thought about that the entire time it's felt like that. All right? The entire time. That was Hale-Bopp when it came through. Hale-Bopp was very mysterious when it came through. The very stubby tail on it, the way that it came through, it sat in the sky, all the other characteristics. Yeah, and the fact that Heaven's Gate was even a thing, that all them people died. It was nuts. All right, so look, don't go joining any group that's wearing a bunch of Nikes and want you to sip the Kool-Aid. Just don't even do it. Don't do it. Yeah, the Chinese are still stuck in space. An update there. They're beckoning Elon to come save them. I want eyes on it. Like, we should have enough technology to if we just had a little bit more money to do some of these things, man. They need to be done. It would prove things big time. Like, when they launch, like, say Elon comes out tomorrow. He's like, guess what? We're doing it. We're going to go up and we're going to save them. Why would he miss his chance to be the hero moment? Also, if Trump and them are going to disintegrate NASA like they were trying to talk about, then where's all that space work going to go to and all that? Well, they're already talking. The Space Force would contract right through SpaceX. And SpaceX would get a majority of all this. The last time anybody went to subspace was here this year. Jeff Bezos, his Blue Horizon, they pulled off a fake stunt where they acted like Katy Perry and all these goons went to subspace, and then they came back down, landed in the desert, which was all faked. There was no re-entry burns on the damn thing coming in. They couldn't even get it right. They couldn't even fake that part right. Okay. And there was no impact on the ground from anything. the way that it should have been. Oh, and the door popped open before Bezos could get a special little tool on it to open it. Like they ruined it. But it was live, so there was no second going at it. And that's the critical nature of live. And they faked it. What is there to fake if it's real? Why are you faking it? Why'd they fake the moon landing? Why ain't we been back since? It's right there. Mr. Rocket Man, the real Rocket Man, Elon Musk, showing off all these rockets, sticking the landings out in the ocean, all this other crap. That's garbage. It's like caveman tech. It's been around for a long time. We've got anti-gravity out here, and the moon's sitting right there. Like, what gives? This is my point. If he says he can save them, this is where everybody needs to pay attention. If you can, maybe I need to reach out to some. Maybe you're gonna have to be set up in the right spot to do it to begin with. But if I had the setup, I'd travel to wherever I had to go to capture this. He's got to launch from somewhere. Let's say Florida, and he does it. You should be able, with the clear skies, to lock onto this thing with the telescope and follow this all the way up into subspace. It even coordinated out to where, like, if like you're gonna lose it because of it's going around the planet or whatever, you have to have a telescope to lock onto it and to finish tracking it to the ISS or to this Chinese ISS. This is how you figure it out, man. Something's got to happen here. Like, either he's flying up there to save them. Now, I'm not going to question subspace, anything within the firmament, so to speak, as much as I am the moon. But, like, you should be able to do these things. And the same thing with the moon. When they launch to go to the moon, you should be able to sit there and watch them go all the freaking way to the moon. You understand? All the way to the moon. Like, we've filmed the moon. I've filmed the moon many times, and you can catch planes going by it. You can catch the ISS. It's been caught floating in front of it, making its rounds in subspace. You should be able to watch a rocket, go all the way to the moon. Can you believe in this day and age it's never happened? It's not happened one time. Elon hasn't gone with all of his toys, all of his gadgets, all of his ego. One time to the closest rock, to all this talk about Mars and all this other crap, but like, you can't even prove you can get to the moon or anything else. Like, let's see it. There's something major going on. I'm telling you right now. People need to start realizing it, being conscious to it. Right? Yeah, you can see, right. You can see Saturn and Jupiter, for real. And all this is very interesting to me. But the lies, we gotta tear them down. Yeah, Saturn's an amazing thing to lock onto with your telescope. When you can actually see, when you're looking through a telescope with no digital stuff in there to mess with it, when it's all just lens and just what is there. And you can see the rings around Saturn, man. It's and you can see all the detail. So everyone that says, well, it's all water out there, because however they want to interpret the Bible about the waters being separated. Okay. Well, that's not the case. At least not with Jupiter, at least not with Saturn. If there's water, a layer of water out there, it's got to be beyond them, because I see them clearly. You can see them clearly. You know that, right? You can see the moons. You can see all that, right? You know that, right? That blows your theory out of the water, that there's a layer of water right there at the firmament, because I can see these objects. Unless you are also trying to say that those planets are within the bubble, like the sun and the moon. But you can't explain to me how. You say that they're in all within this bubble, but you can't explain to me how. Now I'm all ears if you can explain it. Just like if you want to say it's flat, that's fine. Explain to me how an equator works on a flat plane. Don't worry, I'll wait. We'll be here a long time. Anyhow, I'm going to keep on pushing. Get caught up on all that. Power outages in WNC. What is that from? Is there any word from what it's from? Because if it's not storm related, then it could be from solar storm related, so to speak. All ears, man. It's a learning mission. Hoodie Ross always says, chew up the meat and spit out the bone. You know, we got to take in all the information, keep the good, spit out the bad with these psyops. All right, so if you got babies out there, there's a botulism outbreak traced to the infant formula. 13 cases across 10 states. A big heads up. A lot of babies out there, grandbabies. Cases reported in Arizona, California, Illinois, Minnesota, New Jersey, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, Texas, and Washington. No deaths, but the babies ranging from ages of 16 days to 167 days were all hospitalized. So just a heads up, we get those things that like to Asheville, NC with ice and winds. Oh, wow. Okay. Thanks for the updates. The FAA pinpoints engine and pylon detachment for being the reason for the deadly UPS air freight crash. They temporarily grounded all McDonnell Douglas MD-11 air freighters this week after this crash in Louisville. That was crazy and horrific. Huge fireballs killed at least 14 people. The emergency directive was issued after the FAA investigators found the air freighters left engine and pylon detached during takeoff. This thing was down, being maintenanced or something done to this exact stuff beforehand. We already know that. The cat's out of the bag. It's already been said. I don't know if they say it here or not. But here is. It didn't get high off the ground. You could see it going by right there in that clip. It never had a chance. It said that all these people died this way. I mean, this thing didn't get far up off the ground. You can see right there in the clip I showed before. And then this massive fireball. To me, and I'm going to say it again, maybe some of these things got to keep saying until something happens here. See where this is at? This whole place here, where this building and all this stuff is. This should have been bought out. Or the airport never put where it's at. I believe, like, at this length down the runway, there should be another runway for this exact thing. Because it would save a ton of lives and disasters. We've seen it several times already. It's why I keep bringing it up. If there would have been an extended runway, I don't care where it's at. Start designing your airports different. Quit trying to squeeze them in all over the place. Ridiculous. Okay? Give them the safety they need. Because if there was an issue on takeoff, they should be able to land. But no one has an opportunity to do that. You got to go down whatever's there, a field, buildings, whatever. No. If you use your brain when you design these things, you do like I said, you can stop these things from happening. I don't see any place designed like that. Not one airport. So, and it doesn't help when you've got Boeing out here that's falling apart left and right, engines falling off, catching on fire. You know, we've seen cabin doors pop off. People almost get sucked out. Like, it's bad, man. Collisions. And thank you and God bless you. Pat, thank you for the coffees. Much love right back at you. Appreciate it to the fullest. Best way to support the show. So again, RIP to the people that lost their lives there. Just imagine you're just at work one day, just working, and you know, that happens. I mean, you're dead. Freak accident. Reminds me a few weeks ago or a week or so ago when the ammunition place got hit. That was highly suspicious too. People that worked there, everybody died. Got to take a good look at the dangers of where you work, that's for sure. I got an update here on the hunter that went missing in California. He was missing in the wilderness for 3 weeks. They found him, and he's alive. So, a bit of a miracle. Bit of a miracle, man.
So overwhelmed with emotion, we couldn't stop crying. So we're trying to stop now. He's home, he's safe, he's pretty healthy. So we're just grateful.
After nearly 20 days of worry and frantic searching, Ron Daly, that missing Selma hunter, is back home with his loved ones. Tonight, for the first time, we hear from Daly himself and his daughter. Fox 26 News reporter Myra Franco spoke with them earlier today and has more on his survival story. And what a story it is, Myra.
It sure is, Kim. To start off, on the video call I had with him, you could just feel the relief and overwhelming joy through the screen as a family is back together again. Daly shared the story about how he got lost. He also tells me it was hope, faith, and love for his family.
All right, I'm not going to play the whole thing, but just that's positive there. Like the positives out there when I can come across them. Boeing merged with McDonnell Douglas, the original manufacturer. Okay, thank you for that update. Much appreciated there, Spiro. You know, keep talking about Bigfoot. Did y'all see that clip, Big Mike? Somebody did. AI. Yeah. Oh, really, Steve? Going elk hunting in the morning. Hey, good luck. Much luck. Especially for anyone out there that's trying to pack the freezer for the winter to have meat, you know, and food. Yeah, man. Here is one where apparently a naked madman in Los Angeles got shot dead after trespassing and breaking a Vietnam veteran's legs. I don't know what the guy was on. I'm not going to play the whole clip. But the man that he assaulted was a 79-year-old neighbor. He broke his legs. I mean, it's ridiculous. Before someone shot him. Now, well, I don't actually think that they play anything graphic here.
A deadly shooting in the San Fernando Valley. A landlord opens fire after a naked man breaks into a home in Studio City. Fox's 11, Christina Gonzalez live in Studio City talking to police and neighbors. It must have been horrifying. Christina?
Oh yeah. Wait till you hear the whole story. We do not have an identity yet of this naked man, but you're going to see video of him before he broke into the home behind that brown fence. You're going to hear him speaking. It sounds like Spanish, but honestly, you can't make out what he says. It seems gibberish. Here, take a look at what happened here.
Ay. Wow. This is nuts.
Reaction from neighbors in Studio City, where police surround the home off Tujunga. Under a canopy, an alleged naked intruder is dead, shot by the 79-year-old homeowner. Witnesses telling investigators,
the naked man, who's a suspect, broke into the front of the house. The lone female started yelling and screaming and told him to leave.
Video here of the naked man from a resident across the street who says off camera he had been trying to get into other homes before.
She runs out. She calls a neighbor. The 79-year-old man tells a suspect to leave. He told him, I have a gun. I will shoot you. The suspect grabs the 79-year-old man, lifts him up on the ground, throws him on the ground, and that's where the 79-year-old man suffered 2 broken legs.
So this man on the ground, the 79-year-old is the one who shot? I mean, he shot him from the ground?
He shot him from the ground after he suffered the 2 broken legs.
The 79-year-old
Wow.
shoots the suspect again, killing him.
Sometimes you have to do what you have to do.
She says she knows the 2 victims, explaining the woman has MS and the 79-year-old is a Vietnam veteran.
She's at the hospital with him.
How is he doing? Have you heard
I don't know.
anything?
I don't know.
Neighbors weighing in.
Sounds terrifying.
I think that's okay. That he shot him because he tried to get into the house? Yes.
It's insane. I don't know what to think. It's beyond any rational thought.
So imagine having to deal with that. I mean, this is Los Angeles we're talking about here. I know, no knock on L.A., but it's L.A. I mean, it's the West Coast big city, man. I mean, it's at the climax, the height of the craziness, of the madness. There's just so much going on there. Every big city's got this, though. Got the drugs and stuff. I'm gonna say that that's what this guy was on. If he wasn't on drugs, then I don't even know. If they're doing this and they're not on drugs, then but yeah, the guy's dead. Freak crazy stuff, man. I just hate to be living in an area where you got people popping up like that, running around naked. Like, what do you do? They're picking grandpa up and slamming him on the ground. Snapping his limbs. Like a bath salt zombie. I mean, it could have been. Could again. I would have liked a little bit more detail, but what is gibberish? I think she meant gibberish. This mumbling and all that. Never trust naked, dude, you know? All right, so I'm going to try to keep it pushing here, pick up the pace. We got a car bomb ripping through a tourist-packed area of the Indian capital, killing and wounding all kinds of people. Now, this is interesting because India's kind of stuck in a weird position right now with everybody, you know, Russia, China, Pakistan, everyone wanting them as an ally or trying to war against them. I don't know where this is going to go. They are now the most populous country on the planet. They got more people than China. There's more people in India than anywhere. I don't know. Car bombs, we'll see. I don't know if it's going to end up being a new trend there. I expect it being something here, unfortunately, as well. We've got the energy secretary saying that Trump expanding all this coal is going to be critical to our country. So this is going further than I thought. Some people may be sleeping on this, but if you want to make an investment, land that has natural gas and coal and stuff like that is going to be the route to go. Because, and especially if like the Republicans win the next election, if it's J.D. Vance, whoever it is, and they can keep on pushing this and it doesn't get stopped and shut down, you're talking about seeing coal country get brought back to life, which is going to be huge. And Steve, thank you for the super chat. It's the top of the hour. Let's make it rain. I appreciate the love, man. I really do, man. In an hour went by just like that. I see her all the time morning, lining up all the stuff for the show. And after 2.5 hours goes by, I still got a dozen stories all the time that I don't have time to get to. But I guess it's better to have more than, again, not enough. But I'm all about this. I want to see our country spring back to life economically and people prosper. You know, I'm out here in the Appalachian Mountains. A lot of people down these old coal roads that don't have much, and it's been decimated. Anything like if there was an old gas station or anything, it like don't even exist no more, because it's been that long. But when the coal was booming, everything around was booming. The reason it stopped booming is the government wanted to make everyone poor, and it's just ridiculous. It was obvious, and I really can't believe a lot of people sat back and just took it. But here, a couple of winters ago, my state bucked back, and I was pretty proud of it because they refused to shut down all the coal plants. It ended up saving lives, and they ended up saying F you to everybody that was in the climate thing, even to JP Morgan Chase. They forced them to have to leave the climate pact, which was crazy. But they did it because they put their foot down and they said, we're not taking this crap no more. Like, we got coal. This is how we operate. It's how we run. And what are you going to do about it? You know? And our own federal government is selling boatloads to the Chinese, who buy more than anyone else on the planet. So, like, get out of here. What? Like, the feds are over here selling it? I don't want to hear nothing about carbon, nothing. You fools. You over there stacking all this dough, selling it, but you turn around and tell us we can't? Why? The straight up reason is to keep you poor. Those days are over, I'm telling you. But they've ran a ton of people off the land already. So it's like they're making their move. They wiped everybody out. They wiped their jobs out. They had to get rid of the farm or all this, or they're up for sale right now. And see, it's BlackRock and all them swooping in, Bill Gates and company, Zelensky swooping in and buying all of our freaking land and everything. It's insane. You know, when Zelensky slides into the number 10 holder of land in this country, dude, we've got problems. We've been having problems, man. So keep it pushing again here. China tops the U.S. with the world's biggest prison population. We're not far behind them. They're both in there for big business. America has the 4th highest incarceration rate in the world. You can just go over on YouTube and you can watch some cats over there talking about, and you can find the truths of it, that it is a monopoly, that the same people, own all this stuff in all these prisons, and they're making money on it. They make the big money by having more people in prison. It's a racket, just like everything else, man. But China, man. China, the U.S., Brazil, and India. Well, and then Russia. You could throw them. That's where the biggest prisons are. Eggs, gas, in women's clothing is all down right now. So, hey, get it while the getting is good, especially if you're a woman out there looking to get some clothes. I'm all about buy the pullbacks, just walk around, have your money in your pocket, and like always be prepared to just buy the dip on things, the pullbacks. When opportunity presents itself, it's when you could take advantage of it. Just like with gold, silver. I've been telling you here recently, there was a pullback. Those are entry points. Obviously, the cheaper anything is, it's better. But inflation by production, basically by the product type. I want to break that down and point this out here. Inflation by the product, how much everything is up. So So you can see here, beef is up almost 15%. Car maintenance like 7%. Home insurance 7%. Tobacco products 7%. Sugars and sweets 7%, roughly. That's garbage. Electricity up 6.4%. I just don't believe that. I just don't believe it. There's no way. I've sat here and I've had you guys give me your numbers out there in the chat. They've been mind-boggling. And thank you, Matt, for the coffee. Much love. Now gas has maintained a decent level, I'll say, at least in my area. It's not like it's been through the roof. Just kind of checking the chat there for a second. You can see on the screen, I'm not going to name everything here, but they really went after beef. That's for sure. But eggs were down, lower. Of course, Trump kept attacking that, trying to make sure. What went negative here? Fresh fruits, gas, as you said, eggs, as I just said, telephone services, women's apparel, IT hardware, 2%. Man, that's it. The list isn't long. Okay, all the other things up, affected by inflation, and everyone's feeling it. Beef, smokes, electricity, all up in 2025. I know a lot of people feeling it. Ray Dalio warning the Fed is stimulating the economy in a bubble. Now, to make a long story short, he basically says that there's cycles to this, which we know, and that the Federal Reserve typically eases the interest rates when economic activity is stagnating or declining, when asset prices start to fall, when unemployment is high, credit dries up. And you've seen those things in the Great Depression, and that was in the 1930s, in the 2008 financial crisis. However, he's saying right now that the Fed is now easing monetary policy at a time of low unemployment, economic growth, and rising asset markets, which is typical of what he says is a late stage economy saddled with too much debt, which is going to come down hard. So it's another guy out here putting the writing on the wall saying this can't last forever. The most recent move that they made to try to save the dollar is pegging it to the stable coins out here. And thank you, Lady B, for the coffees coming through, man. Appreciate it. Much love right back at you. Appreciate it more than you know. But if you're just now catching on to this whole thing, my window that I've put out there is like somewhere in the spring when the new Fed chair is picked and put into position. The whole Mar-a-Lago Accord is going to go into effect. And what that is it's really initiating the Great Reset. I mean, I've explained this in great detail over and over again. Though they're going to have a man in there, unlike Powell right now. They're going to have a man that is schooled on the Mar-a-Lago Accord, and he's like salivating, mouth watering, ready to get in there to tackle this. He's on camera saying it, and Trump's on camera saying that was part of their main agenda. What he was brought in to do was to reset this whole thing. It hasn't happened yet. The World Economic Forum pushed it for years. The Great Reset. It hasn't even happened yet. We're on the cusp of it, though. I'm going to tell you. France is falling apart. The economies of all these companies are falling apart. France, UK, Germany. Of course, Russia that they're attacking. All falling apart. Japan. Greece. It's like by design. Because some of these places do good economic business. But it's like when one domino goes down, all the rest of them are going to go. And yeah, they want to replace it all with blockchain. CBDC is what they're going to do large scale, but it doesn't have to be called that. All right, let's get an update on this government shutdown. The Senate, just go ahead and get a refresh here because this is updating constantly. Okay. The latest updates is the Senate finally approved a long-sought funding package to end the government shutdown after 8 Democrats crossed the aisle, which will keep the lights on until January 30th when we get to do this all over again. The legislation now heads to the House for approval. So that's what you're waiting on. You're waiting for House approval. The final version also includes 3-year-long funding bills for several federal agencies and programs that don't have to do this dance in January and reinstates federal workers who were laid off during the shutdown. In exchange for the Democrats' support, Republicans promised to hold a vote by mid-December on extending enhanced Obamacare tax credits, which were central to their demands. Or Democrat demands. House Speaker Mike Johnson said they think they can push it through to Trump's desk tomorrow. Okay, we'll see here. Remember last time we were doing a little pick, I picked like 50. I think day 50. Tomorrow, it would be interesting because if it happened tomorrow, guess what day it would happen on? 11/11. It would literally happen on the very first day of this massive celestial dance that's about to begin, where 4 bodies are going to go into retrograde, which is just never seen like this. I'm telling you, it's a huge moment. It's going to it marks something big, as above, so below. And what this does is it shows you the shift. These shifts are real, and it would be right on cue if that's the case. See here, maybe they got a clip here.
On this vote, the ayes are 60, the nays are 40. The motion is agreed to. The clerk will report the bill.
Okay, and I sat watching forever on C-SPAN, just them people walking in, them saying yay and nay, and counting votes. And I did that for a couple hours until I realized that, like, this isn't happening anytime soon. Let's see here. Let me get an update, a refresh here. 60 to 40 updates. His advances bill. Okay, 60 to 40. House expected vote on the bill in the morning. And if they punch it through, then it will go to Trump's desk. All right, so they're not even on the floor live like they were earlier. So they punched it through. House votes in the morning. And then to Trump's desk, it should go. By afternoon, hopefully this thing. But this thing was drawn out for a long time. You're talking about the longest government shutdown in history. And there were tactics here. Again, the Democrats wanted these extensions. And there was also a strategy here. I don't know if he talks about it right here. Just a clip here about what they were wanting out of all this.
An agreement was reached with the Republican Senate leader, John Thune. We will agree to open the government until January 30th, 2026. During that time, we will pass through.
Till January 30th. That means we got to go through this whole thing again on January 30th, man.
3 bipartisan appropriation bills that will fully fund SNAP, WIC, and all the veterans programs and finish our work on the remaining spending bills for this fiscal year. The agreement would also reverse the Trump administration's mass firings during the shutdown and prevent future ones through January 30th. We credit Senator Kaine of Virginia for this provision. Leader Thune has also promised the Democrats an opportunity before mid-December to present a Democratic bill on the floor with proposals to change the law and protect American families from dramatic health care premium increases. It is my fervent hope that this ends up being a bipartisan effort. It would be such an achievement of the Senate to finally return to that status. I've served in the Senate for 29 years, and I've never seen that kind of offer from a Senate majority. During the historic roll call last night, I walked across the aisle and met with Senator John Thune, the Republican leader.
All right, I'm not going to play all that. I'm going to play this piece, though, here of Schumer kind of melting down because it was going to go back and forth until somebody was like going to catch either all the hell for this thing or somebody had to give in. And apparently it was to the disliking of Schumer here. And thank you, Ninja Kitty, for the coffees. Much love. Right back at you. Got to be the change you seek. That's for sure.
Premiums will spike by thousands of dollars a month. Millions will lose insurance. Democrats have sounded the alarm. We have demanded for months to meet with the Republican leadership. But Republican leaders refuse to even discuss the issue, let alone negotiate it. We've asked them to meet in the summer and throughout the shutdown. To this day, Republicans still say no. We asked President Trump to step in and meet with us to deliver lower health care for Americans, and instead, Donald Trump has taken the American people hostage, from cutting off food aid to hungry families and vets and seniors and kids, to manufacturing flight cancellations, to cutting off home heating aid, while he builds a billion-dollar ballroom with gold-plated toilets. Therefore, I must vote no. This healthcare crisis is so severe, so urgent, so devastating for families back home that I cannot in good faith support this CR that fails to address the healthcare crisis.
So they didn't want to do this. So, man, January 30th is going to be here in no time. I feel, just a feeling here, at this point, it's going to get signed by Trump. Let's just say tomorrow, this whole thing's done. They get it behind them. But again, January 30th, it comes right back around. So just, we're going to come back around to this. Let's hope that that's the case. All right. Everything's kind of hanging in the balance here. We've got the Transportation Secretary, Sean Duffy, putting a warning out saying that if this doesn't, like, it's curtains for Thanksgiving travel. Like, it's like not going to happen. He's saying that everything would crawl to a stop. Like, yeah, I get it, Kent Bar. Would they lie? No.
Joining us now, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy. Welcome back to the show, Secretary.
Thank you, Shannon. Good to be with you.
Okay, so let's start here. When Nate says 15 to 20%, which you floated, what does air travel in the U.S. look at a 20% cut?
So first off, yesterday we had 81 staffing triggers with air traffic controllers across the airspace. You've reported there was a whole slew of cancellations and delays across the airspace. That trend line is getting worse, right? More controllers aren't coming to work day by day. The further they go without a paycheck because Democrats refuse to pay them. And so as I look 2 weeks out, as we get closer to Thanksgiving travel, listen, I think what's going to happen is you're going to have air travel slow to a trickle. As everyone wants to travel to see their families, I think we're going to see air traffic controllers, very few of them coming to work, which means, yes, you'll have a few flights taking off and landing at our different airports across the country. But the thousands of flights that happen every day to move people around the country for this great American holiday, it's not going to happen. You're going to have massive disruption. I think a lot of angry Americans, and I think we have to be honest about where this is going. It doesn't get better. It gets worse until these air traffic controllers are going to be paid.
Okay, so you know the polling show.
Okay, so that's what we're facing if this isn't signed by Trump. Okay, as the days go on, you just heard him put the warning out. if you're planning on having Thanksgiving, travel, have family travel, and a lot of people do, it's not going to be pretty, man. He goes on for like another 5 minutes talking about all this crap, and I ain't playing all that, but I just wanted you to hear that's where we sit. That's the warning. If anyone plans to travel or anything for Thanksgiving, if this isn't fixed next day or so. Yeah, and the money spent on a ballroom, $1 billion, like what? He said $1 billion ballroom with golden toilets and everything else. Like, honestly, I couldn't believe some of the images that I was seeing coming out of there with dancers and all this food flowing all over the place while people were standing in long lines for SNAP. I'm like, dude, not a good look. But like, they were doing it on purpose. And I just kind of sat back and I'm like, hold on, dude. Like, you are really doing this on purpose. Like, rubbing it in everyone's face. Like, all you had to simply do is just not publish or put out any imagery of it. You know, out of sight, out of mind. But no, they purposely wanted everyone to see that they have, you know, everything overflowing. You know, all the food in the world, dancers, all the stuff down this, you know, with Trump. While everyone else is suffering. I just didn't think it was a good look of the ballroom, B-A-L room. You got that right. Glad you picked up on it. We're going to keep it trucking. Trump says, all right, so this is what they said. And remember everything we just covered with potentially being fixed by tomorrow. But the Trump administration tells states to undo full SNAP benefits. This is crazy. And every state has its own choice on what to do here. So it's been back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Some people already, if they get their stuff early in the month, they already got it. Everybody's got different times and days, right? So, in different amounts. And every state handles things differently. So this is what happened. Trump and all them basically gave the green light for 100%. But then came back and said, no, undo it. You're only going to give 65%. Okay, this is what they're saying. And that anyone that got more than 65% for this month, they're going to owe it back. What? Some of the states said that. Some of the states said, what? And they said, no, we're going to cover it. So the state themselves, and every state's different in this instance. Some of the states are eating the cost themselves so that the people have the full funding that they were expected, especially ahead of Thanksgiving. Everything, Thanksgiving month and all that. So I can't, again, everything I just said about building this ballroom and then putting the video clips out of, it's just like, it's arrogant and it's like, first off, you should be smarter than that, but it seems like they did it on purpose. They've done it all on purpose. And it's like, man, you've got some arrogant audacity. Again, he's such on a high platform and podium right now. Everything's made of gold around him. It's literally like this guy lives in a different realm of reality. He truly does. And all of his family, all of the little Don, you know, Barron, you know that Barron, when born, they left him alone for many hours of the day to wander around freely. Just roaming as a young little toddler around the 66th floor penthouse suite of Trump's in Trump Tower. And you know it's made of all gold. All gold. I've covered this in videos in the past. It's the prime and it's the premier spot. Trump spot. All gold. All lavish. And there's pictures and paintings of the fallen all over the place. Artemis, Apollo, Zeus, the fallen. That's who Trump worships. There's not a picture one of Jesus anywhere. That's the truth, if you want it. Those are the facts, Jack. Because we went looking. We didn't sit there and run our mouths speculating like most people do. No, we went looking. It was right there. You could see what was there. And I just told you what was there. And it's pretty crazy. It's like it's overkill. It's nothing but the fallen. But that is where Barron, as a baby, basically crawled the floors of, looking out windows, way down the city. Like, these people, like, I want to say, use the word spoiled, but like they live in a whole different reality than what all the rest of us do. Everyone else is looked at as like the working class peasants, So I don't know. This is just very arrogant. You should be wiser and smarter than that. It's just not a good look to me at all on them. This whole thing. You had all kinds of different government programs still going on. Like, they were still chemtrailing out here. Right? There's a lot of government programs that were still going on during the shutdown. Let me tell you. Okay? So don't fall for that. To take your food off the table, take your food off the table while they continue to poison you, is just disgusting. It shows right where we're at. They could have cut all the funding for all those chemtrails. Oh, you would have seen clear blue skies. Like, oh, no, that's not the case. All these programs continued while they took food from the American people. This is tyrannical. Oh, yeah. It's, look, man. This man, they call the Gentile Messiah. Right? He ain't stupid. He's pretty slick, right? Guess what he's coming back with here? Tariff Man is gonna send out $2,000 tariff dividends, he says, to most Americans. That does not include high income people. So that's what they're saying right now. $2,000 ones. Okay, so what is this for? To get everybody to shut up, to ease up? All this, but then you're gonna have to claim it all on tax and all this other crap. Like, well, you betcha. Anything that they give you, it's gonna end up being like that. So it's all just like, what is it really? Well, they know people are hurting. The fact that they're doing this, the fact that they're even having to do this right now, talking about that means that they know, they realize that we're hurting. Straight up. And it's only going to get worse, I feel. This is a sit down and shut the up check is what it is. And like, go chew on this for a minute. And we're sick of hearing you bitch, peasants. Here's $2,000 a freaking piece. All right, they kicked on the money printer. Just to shut everybody up. $2,000 checks now is the price. Yeah. And when they sat around the fire and they thought about that, and around the round table, and they were like, what's the magic number? What will everybody accept? Well, apparently they think 2,000 is going to do it. This is everybody gonna get that $2,000 check and do what with it? It's gonna be gone quick, and you know it. in this society, this day and age, $2,000. I mean, yes, it helps. And it's better than nothing. Something always is better than nothing. But again, this is just enough to shut everybody up, is what I feel like. You know, stimulus checks 2.0. Yeah, I mean, you know this, man. A lot of things should be abolished. That's for dang sure. And they were supposed to come through and do this and do that. They talk all this crap, but still, you know, look at the whole JFK files. That was a perfect example. All this hot air about what they're going to drop, but then they drop duds. He did the first administration, came through the second administration, and did it again. Like, what are you really expecting from this clown? I'm expecting kind of what he said. This whole reset of the economy, and that he's going to want to take credit for it on the other side. But there's going to be, you have to tear it down first. And that whole event is going to be like the destruction of everything. I think that's why they just attached the US dollar to the USDT and all the digital currency, because it's a lifeline. When all this happens, that's going to help keep it afloat. And how's it going to help keep it afloat? Well, it's almost like the banks have to be attacked here. They have to be attacked. They have to have some kind of a glitch, or they have to be cyber attacked where people cannot get their money out. Okay? It has to be where cash cannot be utilized. Simple. And the CBDC or the Tether or any of that is going to save the day. Now, guess what? Now all you have to do is have a Tether wallet or this whatever wallet, whatever stablecoin wallet. And it's all the same. It all will work the same. Because it's all on blockchain. It's all trackable. It's all traceable. And it gets you right into the trap. In the end, anyway. It's not a trap if you had righteous people running the game in the world. But we don't have that here. And we're not going to have it in this cycle right now of life, this duality. We are really at the high end, coming up on the pinnacle of the dark side cycle. We've fell away from our spirituality. It's time to get it back. Steely said I'll be buying a new clock with it. Yeah, well, that is some more ammunition, right? Like, or something that, something to put with the survival stuff. Now, yeah, ammunition's still going to be good for a ton of things, but like, end game, I think it's going to be, a little bit different than what a lot of people think. Dividends are paid to shareholders of a company. People shouldn't count on that money. Okay, thank you, Jocelyn. Appreciate it to the fullest. On that, but it doesn't stop there. Trump is floating $10,000 bonuses. He had to outdo himself, right? To patriotic air traffic controllers. So as all this is going down, anyone that like stepped up and said, you know what, I'll do it, they could find themselves getting a little bonus here, a little $10,000 chunker. Again, it's all going to be taxed, but what's not, right? Like, he's recommending a bonus of $10,000 per person for distinguished service of the country. So, paid in full. Something he's throwing out there, but I don't know. All this could go away again, get back on track by tomorrow. So a lot of these right here, just kind of hanging in the balance. As Thanksgiving travel looms, airport chaos could force Washington to end the shutdown. Well, as I've said, we'll see here. OpenAI hit with 7 lawsuits alleging that ChatGPT helped to coach users to commit the S word. And that's crazy. And I believe it. Quantum, thank you for the super chat. Much love and respect right back at you. So yeah, check it out. OpenAI hit with 7 lawsuits. Not just 1, not just 2, 7. Saying that in all these instances, that their AI helped sit there and and guided someone along with doing a bad thing. Very bad thing. That's crazy. This could cripple them. This is the same Sam Altman that was just bragging, saying, "Oh, we don't want no government bailout," and all this. And the government said, "Look, if a AI company falls, whatever one rises to replace it. There's going to be no bailouts for the sector," which is crazy statement. Put them all on blast. Now, like just days later, all these lawsuits pinned against him. Oh, dude, talk about, he was said they're going after him, like they're dismantling. There should have been, no doubt, something in place to stop this from happening. If you don't have control of your AI better than this, then it shouldn't even be operational out there. If it's guiding people in the wrong direction to do these wrong things, it shouldn't even be operational. Like there should have been time, a year or 2, or time spent testing these things, not just rushing them out there. And I'll say this. I feel that all these new AI artists that are being made, all these videos, everything AI, should have to pay the original creator. For instance, you go over and you find Elvis, you find Tupac, you find whoever, and there's brand new songs, and they can sound good. Disgustingly good, because you know it's not the real person. But guess what? Like, the Elvis estate should get paid. The Tupac estate should get paid. You feel me? They should. Same thing if they snag your work. And this is true. Because why? Because every bit of AI has to feed its algorithm information. So what they did is they went and they stole your likeness and fed it into their algorithm, and then you got cut out. You didn't get nothing. You see how that, you see it? So no, you deserve, the person that's getting ripped off, like, huge laws have got to be passed and quick. That will end this. And everybody deserves their payday. And that will end this. And then people can get paid the right way, rightfully so. AI can't rip you off. Okay, and they can't just steal whatever they want to do this. So lawsuits coming down on old Sammy Altman. So what do Americans really want AI to do for them? Here's a couple things. They're going to get, it's like biting off more than you can chew. You're going to get way more out of AI. It's here to, than just help you. It's not here to just be, your little like nanny robot, like in the Jetsons. Personal maid or whatever. No, it's here to like replace you in life. But this is what most people think. They want them to be a personal assistant. Kind of how Optimus is being pitched and sold by Elon. Kim Kardashian's out there, got one, trying to make it look like it's a cool thing to do. You got to have an Optimus, blah, blah, blah. That Optimus could self-detonate and blow the whole block apart, mind you. Like, you don't know nothing. Like, these demonic fools talking you into letting Optimus into your home. I don't trust none of it, especially some machine that could just shred you. But they think that AI, for the most part, the people do, Americans, It's best as a personal assistant type of thing. Like if you ask Alexa, hey, can you tell me this, tell me that, which is true. It's helpful in that sense, right? If it's truthful. I see people all the time asking in the feed, Grok, is this true? And I just wish I could just, like, do you people not have a brain? Do you not realize the Grok is wrong a ton? Again, off the information it's fed into and bias. And it's proven all the time. But seeing people like base their life information off of Grok is scary. It's stupid because it's been proven to be wrong several times. Not like all the time, but several times. I mean, sometimes it just has this off the wall crap. Same thing when it creates images. It just says off the wall crap. Image could be fine, but if you don't pay attention, you look down, person's got like 6 fingers or something crazy. It shouldn't even be there. But that's how it works. They also say that automating everyday tasks, making things simpler and easier is what AI would be good for. I agree. Help with work or other tasks would be good. But again, problem is they're replacing the entire warehouse. When 353 people get cut down to 3 people and like complete neighborhoods lose their jobs worth of people, it's scary. That's what's happening. Yet most of the people out there they're not realizing it. The government's not going to educate the masses on the wave that's coming. That's for damn sure. They're just going to let them hop into the bread line. Because they want to usher everybody into universal basic income, into begging for help from the government. Of course, it's all about control. AI is going to help them get that. AI is going to be watching all the cameras everywhere. See if you got that seatbelt on, ran that stop sign, did this, did that. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, it's coming. And this brings me to the Tesla kickoff here of Optimus. This was a pilot production. And it just shows, man, where we're at with this. Like, he's going full on.
And, around our engineering headquarters in Palo Alto, the robots are just walking around the office 24/7 with no one minding them. And then they go charge themselves. And, so the scale of Optimus, like I said, that's really going to be something else. I think it's going to be the biggest product of all time by far. Yeah. So, like bigger than cell phones, bigger than anything. I guess the way to think about it is that every human on Earth is going to want to have their own personal R2-D2 C-3PO. So who wouldn't? But actually, Optimus will be even better than that. R2-D2, it's kind of beep at you, and it's kind of hard to figure out what he's talking about. You need C-3PO to translate. But Optimus is going to be, everyone's going to want one.
It's going to be like 3CPO. That's what it's going to be like. Elon's just kind of down in some ways, but it's what it is. It's like modern day Rosie from the Jetsons, but like on steroids. It's like 3CPO. It's the closest thing. It's bipedal. The only other thing he won't dare give the best analogy, and that's Terminator. He won't do it. Because that's what this is, ultimately. That's what it is. It's his legion of fighters. This is the scariest thing right now on the planet to me. This is. Like, dealing with humans is one thing, and it's scary enough. But when you send in Optimus in a Cybertruck, 5 Optimus in a Cybertruck, it'll wipe out complete neighborhoods. That's what he's not telling you. That's what he's not. And the fact that they get it hacked or hijacked, and you don't think he's got a back door to override all the Optimuses? Get out of here. Get out of here. You don't think he hasn't got a backdoor override and there isn't something crazy going on with these things as well and everything that they're doing? Like, come on. Like, again, I can see there's different versions for sure. There's a militarized version, and then, yeah, maybe your everyday version that you're putting in homes, but it's still spying on you and all that. Maybe it can't self-detonate. Maybe it can. Those things like loom large in the back of my mind. Like, this thing can't be stopped. I've held discussions on this many times. If you're sitting on the porch one summer's afternoon, chilling, whatever, and all of a sudden the Cybertruck pulls up in the driveway and Optimus jump out and start mowing people down, just snapping people in two, hitting them with lasers, whatever the prime weapon of choice is, everybody's dead. Go grab your gun. What's it going to do? It's going to do nothing. That's why I said we're screwed. It's going to do nothing. Right? That's the Terminator aspect. He doesn't want to paint that picture at all. But in the blink of an eye, Chinese hack. Who knows? I don't know. Solar flare hits them and short circuits them, and they geek out. They start killing people. Like, I don't know. Like, there's got to be some like real deal like safety parameters on these things. There's got to be like a remote shutdown, like instant on these things. A way to pull the plug on them instant that shuts them down. Like that. They cannot override. Because if not, you've got to start to find the Achilles heel of the new enemy. I'm serious. This is huge. No, not only are you replacing workers, and you don't have to worry about workers not showing up for work, disobeying, suing you, covering insurance on all of them. All these things. You just replace them with as many bots as possible. It's a dream come true. Same thing militarily. You don't have to worry about none of that other crap that you have to do with the human. You could just store them all tightly, compact wherever, deliver them however. It changes the game. He does not want people to see or hear this aspect yet. He wants them to see the soft, fuzzy side of it first, where he can make, trillions off this. Then slowly roll out that, okay, yeah, they can be used. But then it's going to come down to programming. You're going to have your Optimus updated and programmed. You have to spend all this money for the updates. It reminds me of Bill Gates, the whole virus scam. Like, he did it with computers and he switched it over to humans. Get this fake virus, but then sell the antidote to everybody repeatedly. It used to be you could buy Microsoft, Windows, whatever. Now you got to buy a license that you repeatedly pay for over and over again, or like yearly. They found a way to scam you and to get you repeatedly. You see? It's always a scam somehow. Anyhow, I'm sure it'll come, your Optimus will come with the Tesla subscription and all this other stuff with the monthly updates and downloads. And how do you put it down? How do you stop it? Riddle me that. This is unstoppable. It's the force of the future. It's the force of the future right in front of your face. You put weapons on these things, it's over. No one can stop it. Outside of literally trying to park a dozer on top of one of these things. A heavy piece of equipment. To hold it down And I'd say at some point they're going to try to find ways around that. Self-detonation, I can't get over. It's a game changer. They're all a bomb. Steve, thank you so much for gifting the memberships, and for everyone that got them, welcome to the underground. Much love. God bless. Thank you so much, man, for all the support. For real. So, hey, I've said it many times. I put the warning out there. When you see legions of Optimists coming up a driveway or coming into your neighborhood or whatever, just remember these nights when Dabu7 talked about it. Because we knew it was coming. So, Sean Diddy Combs, not only did he get a light sentence, but apparently he is inside of prison, which is now FCI Fort Dix. Yeah, he gets sent to Fort Dix, of all places. He gets caught drinking alcohol. Moonshine. Because they in prison, they whip it up. They get all these things, it's corrupt and all this other crap. He's a fool to think that they're not watching him like a hawk. He's so high profile. Get out of here. And that all these guys that are buddying up, smiling, shaking hands, because he's famous, there's snitches in there. And he's an idiot. Of course, they done got him. They done busted him. Busted. So, come on, man. They gave him a weak sentence as it was. Are they going to add on to that now? Fort Baby Oil. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. This whole thing with him. And talk about scandals. Let me throw this one out there. There's something happening. And I'm going to go past the top of the hour here, it seems. I'll at least go into the second half an hour. Or the first half hour here of past the top of the hour. Because we're at 10:53 already. I got a few things still hit on here. We've got scandals breaking loose all over the place. And it's worth noting because I think that there's a massive operation. There's no way that all these different leagues are seeing this, and it's not connected. It seems the Cash Patel and company are doing this, and all these different stories are popping up now to try to just bury anything with Epstein. Any and all these other stories that they can take credit for, and they can bust and throw people under the bus. So, if you missed it, this all began here recently with the NBA, Chauncey Billups, and other players in the NBA getting busted in this huge ring of gambling and all this in the NBA, in professional basketball. So it showed there was a massive operation underway. Okay, and Cash Patel come out and said something, and you knew that all this was, and we know all the sports are rigged. So it's like they're throwing some people under the bus here. This has been going on for decades, and with the referees and all this stuff, it's been going on for decades with football. And as you can see here, baseball, okay? 2 Major League Baseball pitchers indicted in sports betting and money laundering conspiracy. Makes you, whenever if you're from Cincinnati and you hear of sports and betting, the first thing you think of is Pete Rose. And RIP, he just passed away here recently, but he was notoriously known for this. And I always thought that they went too hard on him. They went way overboard on him. I always thought over the years, yes, he could have got punished for doing what he did, but they never let it leave him. It wouldn't let him into the Hall of Fame and all this stuff they were threatening for forever because of it. Um, we got all these other cheaters and guys on steroids, all this other stuff out here, all over the place. Cheats all over the place. But as we could see here, guys cheating all over the place. Now, there's different ways to cheat. Betting is cheating. Using an enhancement substance, like steroids and stuff like that, that's cheating in a different form, right? Combining them is like super cheating, right? Like, yeah, I'd say so. But so I gave you basketball's example. Right in front of you here is Major League Baseball's example. And also what happened this past week also. UFC hit MMA, biggest league out there. For what? Cheating, sports betting, same thing. What are the odds? What are the odds? 3 of the biggest sports on the planet, all within the same month, have this happening. Oh yeah, I'd watch out, football, NFL. Here at this point, and any other big one out there in boxing, I don't know. Because they busted guys taking dives in the UFC for bigger money. Say a guy's a low-level fighter, because not all the fighters get paid good money. UFC, Dana White, and then they rip them all off. Only the big fighters that sell tickets in shows get paid the bigger money. It's just how it works. But like low-level entry guys only get paid like a few $1,000s for the fight. Maybe not even $5,000. And if somebody comes along and offers them $5,000 or $10,000 to dive, they'll do it. It's double. It's double the money. They'll do it. And they've been doing it. And for the professionals that do this, they watch the sports betting sites and what they're looking for, and they've got AI now. They've got technology that helps them. So they're looking for abnormalities. And when they see that all of a sudden, like last minute, somebody just puts $20,000 on like this I don't know, a well-known favorite to like lose or something crazy, it gets flagged. And this happened this past week, and it's been happening. Actually, the UFC, this goes back to a sports betting thing here this past year. But here recently, this past week, the FBI reached out to Dana White, and was like, look, dude, like, what do you know, blah, blah, blah. And like, he spilled his guts, like, look, I have nothing to freaking do with this. And I guess he was telling the truth. And they went after certain guys in certain camps and all this stuff. Because it's petty and be stupid for Dana to get caught in that and ruin, bring down the empire. It didn't look like he had the hand in it, but he doesn't have to. Like, so many fights are like just the judging can be rigged, and those guys can be paid off, and that's being investigated and looked into. So it all needs investigated because it's all dirty. And what they did is they reached out to Dana and they said, this past week, we seen this bet get put on these guys, and they watched the fight. They went ahead and they let this one go ahead and play out, watch it. And sure enough, dude lost in what looked like he didn't put up much of a fight. And it went right along with him taking the dive. And since they already had it flagged, he was like busted. So they got him, and this they're going to go back now, and they're going to look at a lot more now that they know what to look for, a pattern. They're going to look at all these other situations, and they're going to be looking at it from here. Maybe guys were getting away with it. I don't know what good it does for a guy's career to go out there and keep taking dives, just keep taking losses. You're going to get cut from the UFC after just 2 or 3. And you're only making like $10,000 a dive, so was it worth your $30,000 to kill your career? Maybe for someone that doesn't think they're going to make it or go far, But I don't know why you even in it. I don't know. It's all rigged, man. And I've mentioned the big banks. There could be something. And thank you, Wake Up America, for the coffees. Appreciate it. 12 years been listening, man. Much love. I told you the big banks were going to get targeted. And thank you, Steve, again. Much love. Good luck. TD Bank in America, or TD Bank in Toronto, got hit on a scandal of money laundering. And this is why a lot of people were selling shares, banking shares. And it was said that big investigations were going to hit U.S. banks. And when this happened, sell-offs are going to happen. And when the sell-offs happen, it could be bad for the U.S. banks, and a domino effect could go into motion. Well, we've got another investigation here involving JP Morgan, and it's for debanking certain people connected to Trump media. Now, if Trump presses this and goes after them hard here, this could start to tear down JP Morgan, one of the biggest banks out there, and it begins. And hey, who else better? It's Trump that said he was coming in to do this. Do not forget to reset this whole thing. So this goes right along with it, actually. It sure does. All right, I'm just going to try to cut this down here to a manageable amount of stories to hit on here. Oh, here's one of Biden's handlers creeping up to him, whispering in his ear, saying, hey, this is what you got to do. They're caught on hot mic. This is how he was controlled, I'm going to say, most of the time. And he really could have had an earpiece in as well, and just them telling him this play-by-play, everything. But
you're going to stay on stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You're being wrapped by the sides.
direct commands. I mean, just direct commands on what he's going to do. I mean, that was Handler 101. If you would have never, everyone else out there just seen some woman come up and just kind of like embrace him and give him a hug and say a couple things to him, but like, you know, they're thinking whatever. But like, that was pure 100 Handler stuff right there. It's someone like Biden. I'd say you always hear the term handler. It doesn't mean just one. You know, usually they operate in a team, and even hand him off from one handler to the next. Just depending on how bad off an individual is. We've seen a lot of that with Biden, though, the whole handler thing. In an update on Pelosi, Pelosi apparently has like $230 million or something like. No, she's earned, yeah, here it is. She's worth over $280 million. She's earned $130 in stock profits, returning 16,000% profits, which is insane. They say the numbers are just insane, and that like she deserves to go like in a record book. But you already know this is fraudulent, and like I'm gonna tell you that this woman needs to go to prison for cheating, and not only her but everybody around her. And Trump should be taking her down, but he's not. He can call her names and this and that, but he knows everything I'm about to tell you. He knows, and so does the government. The United Healthcare CEO that was shot and killed in NYC by Luigi Mangione was running an insider trading ring It was known. It's known. And he was murdered and silenced for what he knew. And it is known that he worked with and traded with this biatch right here. It's fact, Jack. So, out of nowhere, this assassin takes him out. But for what? Everyone was like, oh man, why? Well, it's obvious. He was insider trading and he knew all these people that were insider trading, including Pelosi. And Pelosi knew Luigi personally. Like, this is like, dude, if we can Sherlock Holmes it right here and like figure this thing out, like, get out of here. They know all this. She should have been busted a long time ago, but she's on the team, part of the club. She's protected, if you will. But this was a clear hit. The silencing and taking him out. And she was clearly, when you're an investigator, you're like, who benefited from this? Well, I just told you. Clearly. It's clear, it's obvious. The trail leads back to her, and I'm sure other co-conspirators, and we know this, there were other people tied into it as well. But the fact that we know this and talk about it, and like investigators have not taking her down, and the fact that this article can be written, and she's got jaw-dropping like Guinness Book of World Record numbers. Like, get out of here. Like, she should be investigated and taken down. Do you know how long Nancy Pelosi's been around in this, playing this game? I seen her 2 days ago in an image, a young Nancy Pelosi just getting a fresh start. Like, it had to be like 18, 20, something like that. Like just getting in a game. Like, all baby faced. And guess who she's standing right next to? He's looking back at her, smiling, like looking. JFK. That's how long she's been around. She was mingling with him. Okay? Right at the gate when she got started. And you see, you can fight the beast or you can join the beast. And JFK was born of the bloodline. He had the easy path. He didn't have too much, right? But he took the righteous path in terms of fighting against the beast, and they killed him for it. She took the opposite direction. She went to work for the beast. Okay, similar to what RFK Jr. does now. He didn't do what his daddy did. His daddy went against the beast. If he was going against the beast, they'd have did him the same way. But he ain't getting did the same way. Because he knows this. Sure, somewhere along the lines, he had to do some major soul searching. And he just made the decision that he was going to do what he's doing. He's not fighting against the beast. He's obviously working for it. And he's not cut from the same cloth as his daddy and his uncle. That's for dang sure. If you ask me. Now, on to Mamdani. Taking over NYC is all the Muslim prayer rugs get rolled out in Times Square. And like, I'm telling you, if people don't claim the turf, like, it's going to turn into the next Dearborn. If not the capital, it's going to override Dearborn. NYC has all the potential to be that. And what's crazy is I was reading today that Mamdani was refusing to be sworn in on the U.S. Constitution, saying that he will not put his hand on or be sworn in on anything other than the Quran to Allah. And others are saying, well, then he's rejected. He's not able to run. If that's the case, that'd be wild. But it seems like they're going to override it. I don't see it. They've selected this man. Like, the establishment has selected this guy to fill this role. This is all being rolled out for a reason right now. And I'm going to warn you guys, man. Every one of you listening to me, Everybody can sit back and do nothing for only so long. Okay? When people that will kill you start to show up here in mass, and you sit on your ass and you do nothing about it because you cower, your kind will cease to exist. Because you'll sit there, and so they walk up and they cut your head off or something crazy, right? People, you better get ready. What do you think they're doing to the UK? The UK people don't want what's happening. What did Elon just get up and say? He goes, you don't want to fight. He goes, you don't want to have to do it, but you have to. You have to get up and defend your life or they're going to kill you. They're bringing the war to you. They're forcing it. So you either sit back and get chopped up, or you chalk up a plan ASAP to defend against this. Prepare your youth for what's coming. Because Sharia law doesn't care about none of you if you've been living under a rock. And so Governor DeSantis in Florida says, guess what? He's inviting the police officers up there. Come down Florida. Any of you. You're not wanted there. Matter of fact, you're hated at this point. Why stay and serve when a mayor hates you? It's the truth. What's happening? It's crazy. You ask yourself, how could this if ever be happening? It's a setup, just like towers coming down. Okay, so it's a setup. They're allowing it to happen. Even in Trump's wording when he was talking, I want him to succeed. He was slipping up like garbage. Like, how did you all ever even let it get to this point? Like, now it's going to build up. It's going to become a huge no-go zone. Get out of here. You think it's not? Whatever. It already hit in days. It's already become flooded. People are leaving in droves in days. It's serious. It's not exaggerated. And other states are seeing this and like, look, if you've got money and you're good people, come here. Florida's doing it. We seen Tennessee do it, saying, look, we're open for business. So, but at the same time, there's a warning. Don't be one of them people like, don't be bringing the crap from up there down here, because we don't roll that way, which is true. And they're dividing this place. They're taking this to a major war. Okay. UK again is a perfect example. It's a smaller petri dish. You can see what's happening and where this is going quicker there. It's just a fact. These people were never brought in here to assimilate. In the these large groups of them that have a certain ideology, they do not assimilate. In none of these places. They go about doing what they want to do. And you see it in all the footage. You can see it in all the crime statistics. All right, the proof is in the pudding. But if you just want to sit back on your tail and do nothing, turn a cheek, oh, I gotta go. I didn't hear that part. Whatever. It's gonna catch up to certain people. Yeah. Something has to be done. Like, man, we should have big patriotic groups flexing right now. And we have nothing. It's so sad. It's like the death of this country. Anyhow, in the meantime, you're going to see things like this happen. The biggest city in America, NYC, becoming a stronghold this is a magnet now for all the other people that snuck into this country. Now a ton of them are going to be flooding to a safe space. That's what they see this as. He's not going to be letting ICE come in there, do what they want and all this. Like, dude, people have no idea. you're watching it unfold right in front of us. But again, they're letting this happen. How could if Trump and all of his buddies and anybody that cares has all that money and power let this happen if you really didn't want it to? Huh? I don't think so. Get out there last second and act like they're throwing their weight behind Cuomo, who we all know was a fraud anyway to begin with. Like, get out of here. You didn't even try. They gave it to Mom Donnie. In the meantime, this is what Trump does. I tell you that the last big, with the mayor of New York, who was the mayor on 9/11? Rudy Giuliani. These dudes are as mafia as it gets right here. Guess what Trump does today? He pardoned 77 alternate electors and several top associates from the 2020 election. John Eastman, Christina Bobb, Jeffrey Clark, Mark Meadows, Giuliani. Just a whole slew of his buddies. 77. Okay, so, yeah, like, they partner buddies in little events just like this, real quick. In the meantime, the circus continues here on the other side. Brennan, Page, Strzok, they're hit today with a Russiagate grand jury subpoena. This is all like a circus to me. You've got all these cats. In no time in history have we ever seen. Look at this whole lineup. Look at this. Look at all these characters, state characters that they've got lined up. See, all the Mac is going to back, oh, woohoo, winning. It's everything they ever asked for, but it's like, hold on, pump the brakes. You don't think that, like, the towers are about to collapse tomorrow morning? Like, you don't think, that's an analogy, that something huge is about to happen? Are you that short-sighted? They're all on the same team, man. Like, that's what I feel. That's what I see. No way all these people are going to jail. No way. It almost feels to me like some big event's going to derail all this. And remember, the Clintons just were like, we can't make it. No, we got to reschedule. And never gave a date to reschedule to come in and give deposition. Like, what? Like, who else can do that and get away with it? I'm just saying, this is like too many. It's like this is like too much for me. That's all I'm saying. Germany admits Trump was right about borders after taking in 1 million Syrian refugees. Oh, you think? Do you think, you fool? Like we said, this was a plan and a ploy, and like they weren't sent to assimilate, but at least he's admitting it. All right. Now you see like Italy and other countries doing everything they can to get them all out. Kind of like what we're doing here, but it gives the government the excuse to roll out strike teams across the country. And look, they don't really care about no terrorist. They'll label you a terrorist. You're a far right-wing extremist. Right? Whatever they want to call you. They make terrorists. They always have. Al-Qaeda, Bin Laden's, ISIS, all this, man. We've known it. They've funded and given weapons to all these groups. Boko Haram's. Real deal. What I'm showing you here on the screen is just mind-blowing. Trump is meeting with Syria's Shara. Do you know who Shara is? Shara is the former leader of ISIS that is literally in images holding people's heads up, holding humans' heads cut off with the same hand he's shaking Trump with. You sit and think about that. That is who this man is. Everybody just wants to sleep on it. Straight up killer. Images of him holding heads out there. And this guy has got kills, right? And he's sitting there shaking that hand with Trump. Like, they threw him in a suit, and it just blew my mind. They took off all the jihad crap, threw him in a suit. And this is what you got. And how? How is it even possible? Well, it's all stage. That's why. Israel went in and swooped up Golan Heights right afterwards. Now, they're having this big meeting. And what's it say here? Syria puts on a show of major ISIS crackdown as Shara arrives in D.C. Says, oh, they put on a big show acting like they're going to go after ISIS now. Same ISIS he led in there. Like, get out of here. What's the next one say? The U.S. is going to establish a military base. Where? Damascus. This could be what gets it destroyed. Solely. Turkey puts its own arrest warrant out for Netanyahu. So, do you think they like them? No. So when war pops off, Turkey already looking like, dude, you're going to war with every country around us. Like, we're next. Like, screw you. Turkey isn't little old Lebanon. Turkey is not Gaza. Turkey, he's got some muscle. And Netanyahu, dude, this dude's got to get checked at some point. And here's a positive. The government shutdown delayed $5 billion in weapons going to Ukraine. This literally made them reshuffle the deck on the front lines there, because it was pretty interesting, because they had to lean on Europe to like get it all together. If they can't get it together right now with Ukraine, it's going to collapse here very soon. They can't keep this going on, much longer like this. Now look at this. All of Ukraine's state thermal power plants got licked. Russia hit them. I put a video out on this. Put them in the dark. Lights out. They are this close to going in and taking over Kiev. Just that simple. They're this close. You take out comms, you take out the power. That's what you do right when you go in, take place over. They're taking over everything. Russia's just taking over the freaking country, just not outside of just swooping in on Kiev. Man, yeah. You can see here, Ukraine frantically trying to restore electricity. Worst crisis since the war started. That says a lot. There's been a lot of back and forth. So what do? They're trying to get their electric back on. So the only thing they know to do, send drones. So they hit 2 Russian cities and they put them in the dark. So this is the name of the game now. Putting cities in the dark. Hint, hint. That's the name of the game here. Large scale. So, UK sending the military to urgently help Belgium against mystery drones. Funny. And Ava, thank you for the coffees. Much love. I dropped footage of the mystery objects out here that I caught. I don't know what they are. At first, I thought it was several different things, and I still don't know what to make of it. because it morphed. It morphed into different like shapes, and like it was like a drone or a UAP. One of the two. Right here, I'm not going to go through my entire timeline, but right there, this is what I caught. And I got the whole video there where it's changing. It's flashing, it's changing, it changes shape, it morphs shape, and it changes color. And yeah, I say it's me. I'm the one that caught it, not nobody else. Me. We caught it coming up over the horizon, thought it was a star. And I've had many different incidents out here already with drones, but this one I put up the damn camera and I caught it. And to my amazement, it was doing this. I could see it, and I couldn't believe it. And I hear where I'm at, the way I'm situated, planes can be way high, but I can still hear them. A little bit of a rumble, whatever it is. Helicopters, planes, I can hear them all the time, any one of them. And I can look them up on flight radar, all this stuff. And they're either there or they're not. If they're not, it's like military or the feds. So I go looking up this. This is none of that. It's not a flight. It's nothing to be seen. But it's something. And at first it's flashing. And I'm like, oh, that's a FAA light. It's flashing. It's got to be. Well, then when I zoomed in and started looking, I'm like, no, it's not. I'm a drone pilot. And like on a drone, say this is a drone. And these are the four corners of a drone right here on the right image. You have lights of red and green that are on it. And they're in the same spots. And they give off the same signal from the same spot the entire time. And you can tell, just like on a plane. When you look up at a plane, you see that the lights flickering and flashing in the same spot all the time, doing the same stuff. For a reason. This was different. And you could see it in the footage. The entire thing was flickering. And it was changing from, look on the screen, a full-on orb, to weird-ass looking shapes, to an X. It looked like it was morphing back and forth from an orb to an X to a couple other weird shapes. And then Spiro, yeah, you sent me that clip of holograms off drones and all that other stuff. Yeah, it all starts to... This thing came right over top of me. It was silent. Silent. Absolutely silent. So I'm like, look, I got a drone, a UAP, something here. A lot of people have reached out to me on this. Because at first glance, people are like, oh, that's a star, because the way that it looks. And everyone always wants to say, like I said earlier, the whole thing of the star and the firmament and underwater, all this crap. But no, this is in the sky freaking right above me. So all that goes out the window, underwater crap that people want to say. It's not, this is like in the atmosphere right above me. And yes, it looked like a star or a light from underwater, like some of the stars do. But this thing was right above me. Like it was in the atmosphere. Some people are like, oh, it looks celestial. Like, I get it. Because it's giving off that glare, that reflective water-like look. But you better think again. This thing is giving it off in the air. Okay, so you better think twice about what some of the stars are doing out there and everything else, whatever you think is a star. Again, you can look in a telescope out at Saturn, and Saturn's not reflecting like it's behind water. You dig? You can see the tight rings around it, the moon's around it, and it doesn't look like it's behind water. Do you understand? So something's off with all that theory. Something else is going on to lead to this distortion. I'm not saying there's not something there with these other objects, but like deep, far out objects, but because I see it myself. Again, I can't explain all this. All I can do is show you what we're catching. And Spiro, thank you for that, brother. Appreciate it to the fullest, man. Look, it's not every day you catch something like this. And I've been telling you about the one. Me and my wife stepped outside and looked up, and like this like red. I'm colorblind for the most part, but like it looked red to me. Light just came flying straight across the entire sky, like right above us, and like did a loop-de-loop, like a turnaround, and then went back the other way. And it was maintaining like the same speed almost the whole time. Not zipping like all over the place, but it was going fast, faster than any plane, faster than any drone, faster than anything ever. So much that it crossed the entire sky, turned, and went back the entire sky within seconds. Fast, no flashers, solid color. That blew my mind. That one's been sticking with me, hanging with me constantly. Like, dude, you realize what you saw? Like, that one's like, that one's a head scratcher, bro, because that one was like moving too fast to everything, to the movement on it was like UAP-ish. It was, I don't know. They've got so many gadgets, man. All you can do is film it and throw it out there. So that's what I'm doing. If you guys capture anything crazy, send it my way. I do got a few clips people sending into me. I haven't even had a chance to post or anything. I'm going to try to compile what I got and put it out there or share it also on the stream. But these drones are back. Mystery drones are back. I had to show you mine. It's a mystery drone or a UAP because they're encroaching on military bases again. This time Belgium. But check it out. At least the Trump administration did say one thing here with what was going on with Jersey and the mystery drones here. They said that they were ours. You know what that says, though? We are in possession of drones that can outrun all of our military aircraft. Let's not forget this. That's what these drones did here that made them so special. You couldn't jam them like a normal drone because they weren't getting a signal like a normal drone. It was something internal controlling it. This is groundbreaking. This is all brand new. Helicopters, jets were chasing after these things and had to stop and fall back to refuel. These things outran them. This is brand new technology, and the sheep just sleep on it. But yet, your government put it on display here softly in front of the sheep, of the lemmings. And they're like, it could be aliens. You know, everyone's so stupid out here, it seems. So docile and dumbed down. They just freaking shot a UFO with a Hellfire missile and showed everybody. And everybody's like, dude, everybody needs backhanded to wake up. Like, it's sad. It's so sad, man. There's like no hope for this place, man. Everybody's sitting there. I don't know what they're waiting on. Everybody's waiting on somebody else to show up and do something. Like, in the meantime, they're gonna keep hitting us with crazy stuff, especially stuff in the sky. The big show is in the offing. Just remember, they claimed those drones, like I just said. They're calling this a psyop to a degree here. But again, is our government the only one in possession of that kind of technology? That's not anti-gravitic. That's not like the propulsion. That's not like the next level stuff we're waiting on. You know, it is a level up. Again, the fact that you can't down it by jamming it, the fact that it's outrunning, it's got some kind of power source that we've never seen before. That's new. And like they're not saying anything about it. It's like they showed us, like, hey, look here, look at what we can do, but it was like a tease. Who's paying attention? Remember, Hegseth came out and he did give this speech about a drone acquisition, about how we're going to have more than anyone. Now, this scares me because if another lockdown sequence happens, who do you think these drones are all going to be used on? Us. So he wants to get 1 million drones. You just remember, this 1 million drones are probably going to be used at some point on purebloods. Don't you ever forget it. Straight up. And last but not least here, the 5 scenarios for going into Venezuela. And I'm just going to skim on top. You guys can go to Zero Hedge and get these articles and read on them. You can see the one right there on the screen. 5 likely scenarios for regime change in Venezuela. And we'll see which one's about that. But I wanted to mention it because it's probably going to be one of these 5. The Brother Sam option. If you don't know, in 1964, the U.S. deployed several warships off the coast of Brazil. Their presence emboldened the chief of staff down there and his allies to stage a coup. Okay. Venezuela is a different terrain, though. That's number 1 option. Number 2 is the Panama option. In 1989, they bombed Panama City, and then they sent in special operations to capture Manuel Noriega. And that's how that one went. They bombed first, send them in. Number 3, the Iraq option, which is a shock and awe bombing campaign, which would be launched against Caracas and other cities, anywhere that they think that Maduro is going to be hiding. Remember, when it came down to Iraq and all that, they were doing the famous decapitation strikes. They were trying to take him out. I'll never forget that the whatever the news was at the time reporting, because I was watching it like a hawk. I'll never forget that day. They reported that they thought that Saddam Hussein slipped out of the country already and made it into Syria, which was safe haven territory with some of his family. Never forget that. And the real Saddam Hussein was a high-level master mason. And never forget, the guy that they caught and they hung, facial recognition for all the points did not match the real Saddam Hussein. Don't you ever forget these things, man. They fool the world. They hung a guy that was said to be a cousin in relation to him that looked very similar and even had a blood match. But that's how they do. Anyhow, you go on down these rabbit holes, but I've been doing this a long time, and these are all the things that are in the memory bank. Number 4, the Gulf of Tonkin option. In 1964, the U.S. escalated a military engagement in the Vietnam War, which is one of the most ridiculous wars ever. And after it, the incident, they framed an unprovoked attack on U.S. destroyers off the coast. So you're talking about a staged event, false flag events potentially here. Okay? And number 5, just the straight up Soleimani option, where they use a drone, which this is pretty much decapitation strike right here. That's what they saved that for. That's why they didn't mention it in the other one. Soleimani, they hit him with a drone, 1 strike, and took him out. Which I would like to think, if they're going to do that to Maduro, it could happen anytime, any day. They would have to be like they would have been up to this point watching him and still watching him, and they're waiting for him to slip. The moment he slips and he hops in a convoy like Gaddafi did, R.I.P. And he starts making his way trying to get out of there, because Gaddafi didn't run like no bitch. He stayed in this country He could have fled. He could have got asylum. He could have survived. Gaddafi could have. But he didn't cower. He stayed to the end like a man. Like a real soldier, General Gaddafi, man. Until they cornered him. They picked him off the drones. And they seen the convoy leaving. And they hit it with drones. And they blew the convoy apart. And Gaddafi and his men spilled out. And Gaddafi had to run down to a storm drain. That's ultimately where they found him. And before they could even get him to the location where they're supposed to take him, they picked him apart. He was dead, but he wasn't dead when they got him. But by the time he arrived, he had a bullet in his head and his body. They killed him. They killed Gaddafi. He died. A warrior. A warrior that in my life salutes warrior. They try to trash him, but all the proof is in the pudding. Man, he went to war with the beast. They tried to get him. They tried to snipe that dude, hit him. They were trying to get him, bomb him in tents and in the desert long when I was a kid, man. Gaddafi ran the gauntlet against the beast. And his last speech was at the UN, man. He called it all out. They don't make them like him. They're not like him anymore. People sit back on their ass, turning their cheek. While the beast, our young men and women, are the ones responsible for going around doing most of the stuff. Granted, it was Libya that did that, but that's what color revolutions are. That's what going in and overthrowing and sending the CIA in to do the dirty work beforehand to get the people to uprise, and to do all that. Anyhow, this is it's not just Venezuela, it's Colombia too. And don't forget, they're targeting cartels all the way up into Mexico, up to our border. And it has not even begun yet. So just imagine, as soon as this first strike happens, which should, to be honest with you, it should, in a shock and all type of way, it should be the very first strike. It should be right at Maduro. Get him. Just like I was telling you with Gaddafi. They catch him trying to leave in a caravan. They know that he's in it. They're going to hit it. Right? And dude, Colombia better watch out because they're on the chopping block too. The dude's ran his mouth. They are the number one producer of cocaine in the world. They're going to get it too. They're squeezed in right there between Panama and Venezuela. They're going to get it. This whole war front. I'm telling you. We got them surrounded. We quietly did it this whole time. And they haven't even fired the first shot, so to speak. I will say they have on the water, taking out these little boats. But that's not the real war. When they start nailing ground targets, that's when it really pops off. And you know it. All the way to our doorstep. And you don't think cars aren't going to get blown up here? You don't think there's not going to be blowback? You don't think there's not going to be terror attacks here? Get out of here. It's a given. So, I hope you're ready. I hope you're ready. Man, sometimes you just got to get in a long one like we did tonight. Your homework for tonight, OccultBot says, the Giant of Kandahar. Yeah, look at that one up. It's a good one. The giants are real. At some point, we're going to get out here and we're going to prove this to you and show you. Even if they got to kill me for it. I don't care. I'd rather they just kill me than try to throw me in jail or in prison. Can't even go into what? Can't even go explore Grand Canyon. With what? They're going to try to throw you. So what? We can't go to none of these places. It's got to remain secret forever because it's going to threaten us with prison. Well, I guess I'm willing to take a little bit of risk out here, but I don't want to go to prison. They just kill me. That's the case. So, I don't care. Okay, I'm not afraid to die. Okay, you got to be legendary, or you can sit there and you can be nothing. It reminds me of that dude on X the other day. drove me crazy. That John guy, he put out a tweet or video, and he was like, "Look, guys, I just want you to know my mom died at a young age. My dad just died. Yeah, I have no family." And he got really upset. And he goes, "I just want the world to know that I existed." It struck a chord with me because it just hit the heart. And it hits it home. Like, yeah, like, well, if you want the future to ever know that you were here, then you got to get out and do something legendary. Now, do something to be known or not. You know, some people sit there and think they can't make a difference, but sure you can. If we were to go out and if you were to go on an expedition, just us, go have some more fun with it and find a giant, and you were to be a part of it, but that's huge. It comes with its dangers. Would you want to be a part of something legendary like that? Because instantly, once you are, the dangers, they can kill you. Most people will pitch out and cower, but that's why most people are not legendary. And that's the truth. If the Lord doesn't return in the coming days, I will see you here next time for some Underground World News Live. Thank all of you. I thank all of you guys for joining, sharing, caring, supporting the stream. For all the memberships, welcome to the Underground. For all the super chats, guys, thank you. For all the coffees, thank you. Anybody hits the PayPal as well, thank you. Anyone that sends prayers, thank you. All appreciated. Christ is King to the fullest. Thank you all. Much love. God bless. Take care. I'll see you, Gio. And thank you, Deanne, for the non-stop support. I appreciate it more than you know. Okay? Some of you, man, without you, some of you come through and support. Like, without you, I would get no support. So, like, I thank you. You're appreciated more than you know. Iron Metal, thank you for the coffee. And Eon, talk about legendary. I swear. No one like you, and that's the truth. You prove it in every show. Much love. God bless everyone. And happy 11/11 in 11 minutes. Thank you to all the veterans out there. Much love. God bless.